areas that I represent will have no member of parliament because they would not fall in a boundary that has been constituted through the interaction of the EOJ.
It's a hypocritical thing to say that the parish now must now materialize because you're going to you fear you're going to lose. Come on. Come on.
Boundary clash. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and St. Catherine South Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson square off on the establishment of Portmore parish boundary. This is Cover Story Highlights. Let's get after it. But before we do, let me thank all those who have subscribed to this channel. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do so now. Like, share, and comment. The way the government went about establishing the boundaries for Portmore Parish is foremost on Fitz Jackson's mind. Jackson did not held back on his criticism of the Prime Minister's administration when he attended a handing over ceremony of a house built by the Prime Minister under the government's social housing program. The house, constructed on the Clifton lands in Jackson's constituency, was given to Chanel Francis, a young lady whose half-finished house was among 9 that was ordered demolished by the Prime Minister last October. Let us listen to Jackson as he accused the government of manipulating Portmore's boundaries for political gain, suggesting a hidden agenda.
I don't know if it's the last function I'm going to be with you in South St. Catherine because Minister Warmington made a public announcement that he is redrawing the boundaries and part of my constituency won't be represented by me by way of the new boundaries that he will be drawing. You know, since 1979, constituency boundaries were not determined unilaterally by any incumbent government. And I think one of the legacies, proud legacies of the JLP and the PNP in the latter part of 1970s is the promulgation of the Electoral Advisory Commission, which set out to remove the unilateral setting of constituency or political boundary by any incumbent government. And if we recognize since 1980 election, neither the JLP or the PNP has challenged the results of the elections because one, the boundaries were determined through the EOJ, where the Electoral Advisory Committee now commissioned that both parties have equal representation with an independent grouping. And two, the administration of elections had been removed from the hands of any incumbent government and placed in the Electoral Advisory Commission. So for 43, 44 years, I think we can all say we have made some success as a country in ridding that demon of political tribalism through political boundaries and through gerrymandering, which, as you know, is a manipulation of boundaries for creating benefit to one party or the other. That's an achievement that all of us ought to be proud of. Regrettable Prime Minister, your cabinet member has publicly announced that all that is a thing of the past. And the boundaries of constituencies is now going to be determined through what he probably did a cute and smart way to change the boundaries through changing the parish boundary. So to establish a parish, a proposed parish of Portmore, the incumbent government will unilaterally, or as, because there's a document submitted by the Ministry of Local Government, to the Portmore municipality for consideration, which has become a public document, with boundary proposal unilaterally determined. And what that proposal would do is to establish a parish that cuts off parts of two constituencies. Mine is one. Minister Terry Long represents a part. Will no longer belong to an established constituency. Why? Because the Constitution of Jamaica says no constituency can span more than one parish. So in Minister Warmington's, and I take it that is the cabinet's decision, because I've not heard a withdrawal or revocation of that statement publicly made by Minister Warmington, that areas that I represent will have no member of parliament because they would not fall in a boundary that has been constituted through the interaction of the EOJ. That's the fact of it. And what Minister Warmington did say publicly, not in a private meeting, in a public meeting, it will ensure that his party has dominance over those areas. The classical definition of gerrymandering in 2023. Prime Minister, that's a retrograde step. And I don't want your legacy as Prime Minister to be tainted by that. You can't afford that. You and I came to Parliament just about the same time. Just 3 years separate us, 94 and 97. We've never seen this happen. As I said, we need to celebrate what both the GLP and the PNP has achieved in late 1970s. We cannot in 2023 go back to those dark days where an incumbent government utilized its power. And yes, there's a parliamentary majority. No challenge that. But power can be dangerous if it's not exercised in a responsible and judicious way. And that's a serious legacy to leave.
Now, Holness, using his classic deflection strategy, failed to address the issues highlighted by Jackson. Instead, he spoke about the uninhabited section of Hellshire Hills that will be added to Jackson's constituency.
In my recollection, sir, well, it's hilly terrain. What's the name of it? You are there? The Hellshire Hills. I don't know how many constituents you have living in there. My recollection is that probably none, because it is a huge area. My recollection of the proposal is that may be the area that may be sectioned off as a result of any boundary change.
The Prime Minister is disingenuous. He should know that constituency boundaries are cut based on population count.
By the very sincere presentation of my batchmate, because we were all both in Parliament together. And, if I were not someone in the know, I too would be tempted to believe it. But because I'm in the know, and I intend to make you as well listening be in the know. Yes, because I have pointed out one of the data, which is so important, that a large part of the constituency is uninhabited, and probably will be the part that will be moved off, and will not affect his votes.
Not true.
Now, the challenge, when you were speaking, my dear Fitz, I listened to you carefully. And so I'm certain, my friend, you will give me an opportunity to speak.
Yes, please.
Now, it was never my intention to come here to address matters of boundaries and conflict, because as Ecclesiastes tells us, and the pastor preached so very well, there's a time and a place for everything. Now, I'm really concerned, based upon the things that my good friend Fitz Jackson has stated, because it would appear that the real concern is not the improvement of the people's business, but the loss of votes.
After making that unfair characterization of Jackson's issues, he went on to chastise previous PNP administrations.
When we allow settlements to occur irregularly, the same people who created the illegal settlement come up on platform and say, how we not get the title yet? Oh, now we are waiting on title. The same people who encourage people to come and settle illegally, then turn around and say, where is the road? Where is the water? They don't tell the people them when them settling them illegally that they're not giving them no road, they're not giving them no water, and they're not giving them no title. But let them come and pontificate.
And that was Cover Story Highlights. Tune in again next time for another edition of Cover Story Highlights. In the meantime, please subscribe, like, share, and add your comments.